Well, good morning everybody, and welcome back once again to Transwest Truck Trailer RV. My name's Mark Love, and today I've got a brand new, it's a 2026, and it's a new floor plan from Renegade. This is a Valencia 39RB. Now, in the past they've had the 38RB, which was a double slide unit. It's now a triple slide unit on the same chassis. They've added a foot to it. Just a lot of great improvements, both inside and out. We'll point them out as we walk around. Let's start out with the engine and chassis real quick. Of course, this is built on the S2 RV chassis, which is the only chassis Freightliner makes specifically for the RV industry. And it's powered by a 6.7 liter Cummins. So you've got 800 foot-pounds of torque, it's 360 horsepower, and you have 12,000 pounds of towing with this chassis. They've been using it for quite a long time, and as we walk down the outside, I'll point out why the S2 chassis makes so much sense in a Super C if you don't need to pull 20 or 30,000 pounds. This is really a great option. First of all, if you like to do the maintenance yourself, look how easy it is to get to your engine compartment, windshield wiper fluid, coolant. You can see I can actually step right inside here quite easily. So somebody my size can get in here and work on this without any problem. Here we've got our air filter, little gauge here to tell you when it's getting clogged up. Another thing, get a shot right here of this joint, this hinge. On the bumper, Freightliner made these to be breakaway bumpers, and that's for a very good reason. If you look at the front of this, I'm gonna go ahead and drop this. If you look at the front of this, you see you've got a seam here on both sides. And in a front end collision, if this is gonna get pushed back into the tire and really do some damage, it's gonna break away and prevent damaging that tire, hopefully. By law, you have to have a bumper on the front, which it does, even without the two wings. But it's just a great design by Freightliner. Let's take a quick look over on this side. And again, you can see how much room you have down here if you want to step inside. Got your power steering fill, your water separator right here, oil dipstick, fuse box, everything just easy to access. And again, the people that do the work themselves on their the maintenance themselves, they really appreciate it. Another thing is they have struts on the hood so it doesn't come crashing down on your head as you go around. I want to start this coach on the other side and talk about a few of the new things on the outside as we go down. First of all, let me get this. Great looking paint job here. They've always done a great job with their exteriors. This year there's a brand new door on the Valencia, and you can see you've got a different keyless entry. It's a little bit sturdier, more robust door there. And the other thing is, get a look at the awning. This is a Girard roof mount awning. In the past, when Valencias only had two slides, this slide out wasn't there. They had a wall mount awning. But now with this third slide, they put the roof mount on, and it's a lot nicer. It comes out, it articulates, and I'm doing my best trying to stay in the shade today as we're approaching 100 degrees. But another thing I was talking about with the S2 RV chassis made specifically for RVs, they put the fuel tank in the back between the tires in the middle back there, so it frees up this area. On your M2s, the 106, the 112s, most of them have fuel tanks right here. Look what it does when you don't have the fuel tanks to the storage in these side compartments. This one is open all the way through. Of course, what you're seeing right here are your transit bars, they call them. If you need to, you can lock them in between the fascia and the wall when the slide is in to lock it in tight. As we get them from Renegade, that's where they're stored, so it tells you how much they use them. You also get an air hose here. You've got a compressor on board. You might as well be able to tap into it and use it. Also in In this floor plan, you get, what is this, a 24-inch TV outside. As long as I'm here, I'll point out your inverter also. This is a 3,000 watt inverter. This would come standard with AGM, 330 amp hours of AGM. It's been upgraded to the lithium battery package that we'll talk about in a little bit. Again, 24-inch TV with a sound bar. Frameless windows, which look great. They've got a nice tint to them. As we take a look at these back two, again, a wide open compartment that just gives you tons of storage. And as you can see over here in the front compartment, we have a propane quick connect if you've got a grill you want to tie into your propane system. You do have a 20-pound propane tank with this and a tankless water heater that runs on that propane. Okay, as we step around back, a couple of the things I always like to point out that Renegade does. I think it's a great design having this in two pieces. If you've got a one-piece fiberglass cap, yeah, they look great, but when you damage it, you might be replacing the whole cap. The way Renegade does it, there's a seam here. Most of the time, if you catch a bollard pulling out of the gas station or crunch something when you're backing up, it's going to be down low, so it's a lot easier and less expensive just to replace this smaller part right here. It does have a 12,000-pound hitch, and you get this Gen Y hitch with comes with two balls, a 2 5/16 and a 2-inch ball for towing. Also, you do have the 7-way pin right there. As you can hear, we've got the generator going. It's not very loud, but with it being close to 100, we got the ACs going inside. Okay, over in this compartment, first of all, you see your transfer switch and your power cord here. This is a 50-amp power cord, and it's a manual out, and then you get an electric rewind coming back in. Also, Renegade does provide the 50 to 30 amp adapter there. This is our 8,000 watt diesel generator, and I've got both air conditioners running inside, so it is enough to power 2 ACs. Get a little storage spot here for your sewer hose. However, this also has a macerator, so you may not be using that much. And then here is one of the differences, maybe on the negative side for the S2. Instead of having dual full fuel fills up front, you get one single fuel right here, fill spot. And it's a 100-gallon tank right in the middle, but it's a single tank. Where a lot of the other ones, the Freightliners, have dual 50-gallon tanks, and you almost have to fill them from both sides because the connecting tube is so small, it just takes forever to wait for it. So it's much faster to fill up the full 100 gallons from one side. And again, it's basically right there in the middle, over your axles in the middle of the coach, so better balance, and it provides for more room in the storage compartments, as we've seen. Okay, Truma AquaGo, this is a propane on-demand water heater. So basically, if you've got propane, you've got hot water, no matter how long a shower you're going to take. Here's the water compartment. They've done a little different thing here by putting this partition in, giving you a little separate storage area. See our water hose, that's also on a power rewind. And then we've got the outside shower sprayer right there that you can hook up for cleaning off your mountain bikes or dirty dogs or whatever. Low point drains here. There's a switch for our flow jet. Retract on the water hose. That's your whole house fuel filter wrench. And then your tank fill, you can power fill it if you want to. Dump valves are right here. Black tank flush. Just very well designed, compact, and easy to understand and use. Another thing I haven't talked about yet, how about these compartment doors? I've always said I think Renegade makes the best. They're heavy duty, they've got, you know, plenty of heft to it, but with these dual latches, it's so easy to shut them, you don't have to slam it like you do on other units. Okay, up here we've got, this is basically just our holding tanks. You can see we've got the macerator down here. Got our monitor system for the black tank. And you can hook up and dump this the traditional gravity way if it's necessary. Okay, there's our 20-pound propane tank. And then up here's our battery compartment. So on the left we have our starting batteries. On the right here you can see we've got 300 amp hour Dragonfly lithium batteries. And with that comes 600 watts of solar on the roof. When you get the lithium package, 2 batteries are standard. It's an upgrade to get the third one. But if you're somebody that likes to dry camp, you know, maybe get out in the woods a little more or take your snowmobile off-road in the winter, it's nice to have these lithium batteries. They last a long time. They will provide 12-volt power all the way down to about 30 or 40% capacity on that battery. You can simply charge it with your generator or anytime you're driving. Okay, and then I'll just talk about the cab a little bit before we move inside. A couple of the things I always like about these is the way Freightliner gives you a little, you know, grid there to clean your shoes off when you got snow and mud on them. Makes it a little bit more safe as you're getting inside. And then the other thing is you've got air ride seats here. So this is, you can hear the air there. That's where you air it up and air it down. Of course, there is air ride airbags in the back, but the front is shocks and leaf springs. They bolt it down. So the seat really is what gives you your air ride or your comfortable ride right there. It's also a heated seat, as you can see. And like I say, they give you a lot of grab handles, a lot of places to make it easy to get up and in here where, you know, somebody that's not really tall, they can struggle a little bit without having those handles. I think I'll dump that for when I get into it later. We also have place for engine preheat. And then this is our DEF tank here, 10-gallon DEF tank. Okay, let's go around and step inside and take a look at the floor plan. I like to leave the slides in to show you how it travels. And of course, I've talked about the Vega Touch app before. Let me get my phone on and get connected to it. But for starters, when you're going down the road, look how much room you've got. One thing about traveling with passengers, they're not always the most comfortable. The two up front certainly have a great view and are comfortable, but this with the electric recliners here makes for a great spot for passengers. And you have enough room, even if you have bigger dogs, you're gonna be able to let them go through and get on the bed, access your refrigerator, your bathroom and everything. And then, as I've talked about before, there is an app. Let me get into this. The mobile app, it gives you your code and everything. And I'm going to go ahead and use the phone app to run the slide out. The reason I like this is if you're alone, when you're opening this up outside, or maybe you're awning, there could be a tree or something close by. And it's nice to be able to stand out there and watch it, knowing you're not going to be able to hit it. So let's get the kitchen slide out. And this is what's new this year. The Valencias in the past only have 2 slides. So with this third slide, it really opens up this floor plan. Get the main slide out there. Once again, this is a 2026 Valencia 39RB is this floor plan, which is a bath and a half floor plan. And there we go. So, one of the things I want to talk about while I'm right here and come in the door, the first thing I noticed when I came in, certain floor plans, they put this handrail by the stairs. And it's because they've got a slide and the refrigerator up here, but oftentimes these are a little bit flimsy. This is the sturdiest handrail I've ever seen. And, you know, you can't really see, but it's welded steel here, or I'm not sure, I'm sure that is steel, but the you know, amount of leaning you can take on this surprised me. I'm not a big fan of this. I understand why you have to have it with this floor plan, but with this rail, I don't see it loosening up over 2 or 3 years like many of the others do. And then, of course, like I said, as you walk in, there is a slide now over here on the passenger side. They put the kitchen here, move the refrigerator up front. This is an 18 cubic foot residential refrigerator. It is wired into the inverter, so whenever the coach is on, this is cooling down. Another really cool feature that I really like the Valencias, by the way. I like having a propane stove because I think it's easier to cook over than your induction. So having the propane's a nice feature. And they added this drawer, which I thought was kind of clever. And basically, it's your covers. And you can see it's got a heavy-duty lock on it there. So I'll just go ahead and put these back. But look how big that is. Great storage drawer there. And then again, we have our stainless steel undermount sink. Makes it easy to wipe things off, keep it clean. And I actually like having the one big sink. If you need to, you know, prep food or doing dishes, you can always get a rack or something to put in there. And with the covers on, you can see how much room you have. And this is that VegaTouch app. Just scan the code, go ahead and download the app, and then you will be able to run everything from the monitor panel here, basically on your phone. Okay, let's look at what else we've got here. We've got 3 pull-out drawers, and get a look at the way the drawers are built. I mean, it's thick, real, solid wood, dovetail joints. Renegade just does a beautiful job. The only product they make is the Super Cs, and they've been doing it for a long time, so they do a great job at it. Underneath the sink, you see you've got room for a full-size trash can. Plenty more storage there. A little more storage or pantry area here. Over the sink there, and then your convection microwave. Now, across from the kitchen area, we do have theater seating, and one of the things that's new about this is it's now an electric seat. And these are very comfortable, and they go back far enough that I think most people would be able to sleep in here. Not only are they electric recline, but you also have heat on your seats, and you have a massager there with 3 different speeds. The little light. So very comfortable theater seating, a little bit of storage down there for, you know, magazines, remote controls, whatever. Then above we have a nice large cabinet there that's open all the way through. And again, this is all solid wood. You reach back here, you don't feel a paper wrap. Okay, the dinette here First of all, you do get storage underneath. You get a couple cushions for the table when you want to make it into a bed. And as I pointed out before, if it's got that angled piece, generally that's one that's going to come down, make a sleeper right there. You rest it on the cleats. There we go. Above the table here, we've got a couple of cup holders, a place for a deck of cards, dice, whatever, USB, USB-C plugs throughout, 1/10 throughout. You've got a couple of seat belts on this one. Okay, now let's move back into the center of the coach. Here is one of the places where they added a foot. They used to have a smaller pantry over on this side in this floor plan. So now you get actually a large storage area here. And again, with a couple of pull-out drawers. All of these are soft closed drawers. And then your fuses and breakers have been moved down here. Next to that, we have our stackable washer and dryer. And then across from the washer and dryer is our half bathroom. These are always a little tight to try to get two of us in here, so I'll just open it up and get out of the way. Oops, one more there. For a half bathroom, it's actually pretty roomy. And I like the new backsplash this year. With the countertops, I think it's a great look. By the way, you do have a couple of privacy doors. You've got one here, or excuse me, that's here for the bathroom, and then you've got one here for the bedroom. And these are nice solid doors. They're not the cheap hollow ones. Okay, moving back into the bedroom. Again, one of the things that I like about all of the Renegade products, they put their 150 gallons of water under the bed. So you've got two 75-gallon water tanks there. There is a pole that you can use to brace this up. You can see you've got your water pump, your winterization bypass kit, your main drains, all right here, easily accessible. Then on both sides of the bed, you get a little pedestal with some storage. You get your 110 and your USB ports kind of tucked inside there. Then again, this is open all the way through. You've got another 110 outlet above. By the way, these are the manual day-night shades throughout. Then across from the bed is our wardrobe area. So on each side of the TV, you get 4 big pull-out drawers. And then ample room for hanging clothes. That is the 32-inch TV in the bedroom. Drawer there, and then an area for video components or gaming systems or whatever. This one is a really big one. And then 2 more drawers down here. And then, of course, they just duplicate on this side, more wardrobe area and 4 more drawers. You can also see right inside here, you've got another one of your main monitor panels. And that brings us back to the bathroom. So let me get some of these opened up. I guess that's about all I can do for you. But anyway, this is a pretty big storage cabinet here. You get one over the toilet. That one goes all the way back. Then your medicine cabinet, of course. Like I mentioned earlier, I like the new backsplash. Looks really good with these solid countertops. Your shower, this is maybe the one thing I hear people whine about a little bit. If you're over 6 foot, 6'2", yeah, it gets a little tight in places, but I'm about 5'8", and there's plenty of room for me, plenty of elbow room. And with the skylight overhead, if you are extremely tall, you can still get in there and take a shower. Okay, what am I forgetting? Once again, we're in a 2026 Valencia, new floor plan. Oh yeah, I did want to go up to the cab area a little bit and show you what we've got. So let's do that right now. Okay, first of all, we've got our bunk here. And if I was just a couple inches longer, I'd be able to reach that without any problem. There we go. Collapsible ladder. So this is kind of nice. It does have a 300-pound capacity. And there we go. In the overhead area, let me see. We've got some bunk lights there, but I like just these accent lights on if you don't need to have the overhead. You also have a shade up there. And on a day like this, I think we'll keep it closed. You get a 22-inch TV up here and a queen-size sleeper that's, you know, actually quite comfortable. When you want to put this away, there we go. They just kind of stack on top of each other. Then it opens up your bunk area. Also, over here on the side, you can see we've got a couple more 110. We've got your USB, your USB-Cs right there. And you can even turn off ceiling lights and floor lights, accent lights. You can do that all right here. All right, let's take a look at the cab. And again, this is the S2 RV chassis. We're 39 feet, I think 6 inches, 39 feet, 5 inches, bumper to bumper, 360 engine, 6.7 Cummins. And I'll go ahead and just fire this up. Okay, so they haven't changed much in the dash. You've got a nice digital dash over here on the left. They're still using the Garmin for, let's see, for navigation and some of your apps. And you can actually take this off so the co-pilot can use it, or maybe take it outside and use it. Also, another thing they did is they moved the monitor up here. There we go. So that's our full-time left side, right side, and the back there. So that's our full-time monitor. The EQ levelers are right here, fully auto levelers. Got light for the footwell there. Your ATC, which is your auto traction control, you can shut that off. You can dump your suspension in the rear, which is nice when you're backing up to a trailer. And then also you've got a fast idle there, and you can force a regen if you want to. Over here on the left of the steering wheel, we've got our lights and our wiper. Right here is where we put it in gear. Also, this is where we engage our engine brake. There's a single stage engine brake on this one. I can control my dash panels, let's see, right up here. So if I want to scroll through, get to my TPMS, tire pressure system, tells me where they all are. Got Got our diagnostics and then our settings again. And we're averaging about 7.6 miles per gallon. That sounds just about right. Anyway, very comfortable dash, air ride seat. So as you're going down the road and hit that bump, it really does cushion up for you. Just a joy to drive, actually. I really enjoy the S2 RV chassis. Boy, there's bound to be something. Oh, can't forget my bighorn. You gotta let your friends know you're coming. Anyway, once again, my name's Mark Love. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. You can get a hold of me at 970-631-0083 or email me at mlove@transwest.com. Let me know if you have any questions or you want to come down and drive one of these. Summer is here. Get out and enjoy some traveling and be careful out there. Happy trails, my friends. I'll see you next week.